I was invited to a retreat. It was for group private practice owners like myself. And when I received this invitation, the first thought was, there's no possible way that I'm worthy of this, and I'm totally gonna be called out. Because these ladies, these entrepreneurs, are next level entrepreneurs. Like they own several group practices, and here I am with one. I ended up meeting the host, and I'm not sure why, but we totally clicked. I was so envious of her. She had not one, but several group practices. I wondered, how much money does she make? I watched as she connected with her staff. How did she build up those relationships? Why am I not on that same page? Is there a class I missed? Why don't I not have that same level of connection? Constantly comparing myself to her, not feeling enough. And then I started to think about, okay, well, she has a podcast, I have a podcast. I wonder how many reviews she has. Do you guys think I checked how many reviews she had just to compare? Oh, hell yeah, I did. Absolutely, I did. Did I have more? No. Girl, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Maybe not as many group practices as she has, but hell yeah, I had more reviews. So constantly comparing myself to her. We were alone for a little bit. She asked me what I did. And I told her, I teach high-achieving women how to stay married without compromising their career. She's like, girl, I need you in my life. She started opening up and sharing with me some of her struggles. And then we stopped. Again, still so envious of her, even though she shared with me some of the struggles she had in her marriage. Even though she shared with me some really personal issues, I still envied her. I still envied her. I kept on only focusing on her level of success and trying to compare it to mine. She took her life last month. I share this story with you because I know for a fact I am not alone. I know that we all struggle. The minute we pick up that phone, we are looking at other people's lives and we are instantly comparing it to our own. And we stay stuck. We stay trapped, not celebrating or even acknowledging our success. Today, I'm going to teach you how to celebrate yourself. Are you guys ready? Yes. Let's do this. Let's do this. Today, you will learn how to identify your challenges. A lot of you guys try to hide behind them, but I pick them out because that's my job. We will also learn a very, very great lesson, acceptance. I am going to teach you how to redefine success. Because success is not a clean house. Can I get an amen? It is not a clean house. That's not success. That's a heartbreak, right? We are going to go over costs and benefits because that's what's keeping you guys really, really stuck. In addition to that, we're going to shift from competition to what? Are you for real? I thought we were like best friends. From competition to? Celebrate. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then, of course, I'm going to teach all you moms how to self-regulate because you guys all know you are one burnt casserole away from losing it. Who here is one burnt casserole away from losing it? Right? Right? I got you. I got you. So a little bit about me. A little bit about me. I have been married for 24, going on 25 years in October. To the sexiest man alive. Sexiest man alive. And my best friend. I have my 3 daughters. Right here, right here. What's up? I'm an entrepreneur. I own a group practice. I own a group practice called Outside the Norm Counseling. In addition to that, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I specialize in women's issues and helping couples. I am also the host of the Empowered and Unapologetic podcast. We're going to talk more about that in a bit. So, by a raise of hands, who here struggles with this pressure to excel? Raise of hands. Who here struggles with this pressure to excel, this pressure of not feeling like you're enough? Feeling as if I'll be enough when? I'll be enough if. I'll be enough once I reach this number, once I reach these views. There's a great amount of fear when it comes to vulnerability. I'm here to tell you, vulnerability is courage. Being able to step outside of your comfort zone and embrace fear. Truly embrace fear. That is courage. I'm going to tell you right now, when I was back there, I was pacing, I was praying, and I almost peed my pants. I was back and forth about going to the bathroom for the third time, but I knew I'd have to take off my Spanx, and then I'm also wearing a bodysuit, and I was like, listen, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. How many of you struggle with the balancing act? How many mothers do I have in here? Heck yeah. So that was a weak woohoo, but I understand you guys are all tired. I get it. There's this balancing act, attempting to master marriage, motherhood, and our careers. There's a lot of guilt and shame wrapped around it. I can't tell you how many times my husband, I love him to death, sometimes I want to shake him, anyway, has told me, I'm tired of competing with your career. Or my kids have said, Mom, are you working again? This is true. This is true. And I'm sharing it with you because I thought we were best friends. Growing up, this is me as a baby. So growing up, my dad was an alcoholic, a heroin addict, and a hardcore gang member. So if you're in therapy with me, homegirl comes out every now and then. My mom and dad have both taught me to go ahead and face my fear. Maybe in an illegal way. Allegedly. My mom did everything in her power to figure it out. Everything. So through my journey, there was a whole bunch of childhood uncertainty. Especially when I was just trying to go to the mall, and for whatever reason, SWAT team pulled up into our driveway asking for sugar. Like any other household, I'm sure you guys have had SWAT team over your house, right? Just wanted to go to the mall. I also had professional struggles. Worked for the hospital. Loma Linda, are you here? Is Loma Linda here? Okay. So I was at Loma Linda Behavioral Medicine Center. I was at that hospital, heck yeah. I was at that hospital for 5.5 years. It's a partial hospitalization program. And I was working with one of my colleagues. She had just had her office space. I just received my license. And I asked, hey, do you mind if I rent office space from you? Just for like a day or two, because I was just starting to build my solo practice. She's like, yeah. The next day, we shared offices. The next day, she said, hey, you want to know what my husband told me? He wants me to share this with you. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm over here thinking she's going to give me words of encouragement. She told me, he said, be ready for a rude awakening. Be ready for a rude awakening. I respected her. I had a great level of respect for her. Why? Because she was a high-level woman. High level. I admired her. And if I'm being 1,000% honest, I also envied her. And here she is telling me, newly licensed, be ready for a rude awakening. I rented her office anyway, after I called her a couple names. Some names I won't repeat, but they were definitely curse words. And I was there for a little bit, found out they were gonna sell the building. Are you kidding me? I'm starting to develop this flow. They were gonna sell the building. She asked me if I wanted her furniture. I kindly said no to the black leather and the red all over the walls. I'm good. And walk into our office, my shared office. There was no furniture. Zero furniture. Nothing on the walls, nothing on the floor. Raced home to get 3 lawn chairs. Why? Because I was about to do a couple session in about 20 minutes, and my office was 10 minutes from my house, so I had just enough time to go to the office or go to my house and then run back to the office with my 3 lawn chairs. Mind you, I have a private pay practice. Guess what that means? You are paying me, you are investing in your health and paying me, not an insurance company. And you're gonna sit in lawn chairs. I ended up really, really intently providing therapy, trying to lock eyes with both of them so they wouldn't pay attention to the empty walls or the lack of furniture that was in there. I gave the best damn therapy there ever was for that day. I'm gonna tell you right now. And I know that for a fact because my client, he says, Veronica, you know this is some really good therapy if you have me paying the amount I'm paying and I'm sitting in a broke lawn chair. He was right. He was right. Personal growth. My husband and I were 1 month away from divorce. Court papers filed. We had just had our oldest daughter, Aaliyah. I did everything I could to keep my marriage. Everything. Even compromised who I was. I had lost myself because I was so stuck on being everything I thought he needed me to be and I thought I needed to be as a mom. Oh boy, was I in for a rude awakening. We both were. I realized that eventually I'm gonna have to move forward. And I was so scared because I did not want my daughter to not have her dad in her life. And it was my fault. At least that's what I had convinced myself. And then I had had enough. And it was time. It was time for me to do something different. It was time for me to step into who I really was and stop apologizing. Let's just say I was empowered and unapologetic. Now, to this day, my goal is to empower others. Helping women and men, I make those men cry in my office, and men step outside of their comfort zone. Why? Because we don't do Band-Aids at my office. I'm not having you do a deep breathing exercise. Positive affirmations are awesome. But I really, really want to know what is keeping you stuck. What is keeping you from living the life you want to live? Is it blame? Is it insecurity? Is it fear? This right here is one of the most powerful lessons. And I'm going to teach it to you, but I want you to know that this is one of the hardest lessons. Veronica, why'd you start us off with the hardest lessons? Like, start us off small. Because I believe in you. I believe in you. You have all purchased a ticket for the Women in Business Conference. That alone told me that you guys are ready. You guys are ready to step outside of your comfort zone, and you guys are ready to put things into action. So what I'm about to teach you, you are going to implement when you leave here. Radical acceptance, what is it? It was developed by Marsha Linehan. Radical acceptance is recognizing that we can't go back in time and change. We can't change our partner. Sorry, guys. We can't change other people. We can't change our family. But we can change ourselves. Pain is inevitable. We're all going to endure pain. Suffering is optional. Well, what does it look like when I suffer? This should have happened. He should have never said that. She should have known better. That right there is suffering. How many of you are guilty of suffering? Yeah, listen, I know most of you guys need to be in my office. So let's go ahead and raise those hands a little higher. It's okay. We're best friends. We're best friends. Radical acceptance. It is a commitment. It is a commitment to accept pain. A commitment to accept pain. Who the hell wants to sign up for that? Not me. Now, if I look at it, when I worked at Loma Linda, I seen a lot of people stuck in suffering for years, stuck in that suffering, wanting to hold on to depression, wanting to hold on to anxiety. How were they holding on to it? By not admitting that they needed help. By saying, I got this. I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. A bottle of wine later, every single night. No longer interested in socializing. No longer engaging in fun activities. Struggling. All of a sudden, you find yourself in a Target bathroom having a full-blown anxiety attack. There are two paths. You get to commit to endure acceptance, which is pain, or suffering, which is consistent and will not stop until you are ready to choose your path. With acceptance, it does not mean forgiveness. It does not mean that you agree with what happened to you. It is realizing that, again, we don't have a time machine to go back. If we had a time machine, I'm telling you right now, I would go back in time and take a picture of that empty office with those 3 lawn chairs. Why? Because that's where I started. I would make that picture as big as these monitors. But I was too ashamed. I should be better. I started late. There's no way I should be sitting in an empty office with 3 lawn chairs. I wish I could show you guys that picture, and I can't. And I have to accept that. What I can learn from it is that the next time I'm in an office with 3 damn lawn chairs, you bet I'm taking that damn picture. With acceptance, you get to learn. It is a lesson. You get to grow from it if you choose to. Again, it is a commitment you make over and over again. So I'm going to need silence here. We're going to have a moment of silence. This is where you guys probably aren't going to like me, but that's okay. I'm a therapist. I'm here to challenge you outside of your comfort zone. I want you to all close your eyes right now. And yes, I'm watching you, and oh, hell yeah, I'm going to call you out if your eyes aren't closed. You're about to learn today. Your 10-year-old self just walked into the building. Your 10-year-old self just walked into the building. She just spotted you, and she is running towards you. She is so excited to see you. She is so proud of you. She immediately hugs you. I want you to feel her warmth. I want you to hear her heartbeat, her little itty heartbeat. It's beating so fast. She says to you, I love you so much, and I'm scared. I don't know how much longer I can drive this. I don't know how much longer I can be here to protect you. We need resources. We need skills. We need an expert. We need support. I want you to give her a hug. I want you to tell them that you love them. And now come back to me. I got you. I know. Legally and ethically, I am not practicing therapy. But I told you, I'm going to challenge you outside of your comfort zone because we are going to implement change. And I'm going to help you do that. Challenging norms. And I want you guys to just shout this out to me. What makes a good mom? Shout it out. Love, okay. Forgiveness. Thank you so much. She went deep. Way deep. What else defines a mom? And I want you to think about all of the expectations for those of you moms that are out there. I want you to think about all of the expectations you place on yourself. For the rest of you, I know you all have moms. What are your expectations of her? I want you to say it out loud, and I want you to be honest. Role model, present, what else? Acceptant? Hell yeah. I got to teach her that. Be in all the events. Strength. Patience, dear Jesus. Trust. Yes, dear Jesus. Listen, I'm going to pray for your mom. Unconditional love. Now, how easy is that to do when there's past unhealed pain? It's not. Oftentimes, we hold very, very high expectations, extremely high expectations. Why? Because we need it. We need it. Now, I want you guys to shout out, what are the expectations of a wife? It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. What was it? Be there all the time. Girls, you know what? This is your time to vent. They're not here. I'm not going to tell anybody. We are. Hey, the first session is on the house. The first session is on the house. I'm sorry? Find everything. Can I get an amen? What else? Loyalty. Ooh, yes. Pick up the pieces. Yes. Compliment his haircut. Listen, I told my husband, the minute you lose, he has a nice one. The minute you lose it, I'm out. I'm out. I don't require much. But just keep that in shape. We're good. There's a lot of expectations when it comes to being a wife, just as a mom. Now, I want you to think of yourselves, obviously, as a high-achieving woman or man, an executive, an employee, an entrepreneur. What are the expectations? Get it right. Don't mess up. Stay strong, show up. Know your stuff. Answers for people? Passion for people. Yes. Compassion. Yes. Absolutely. As an entrepreneur, you can't get it right. You can't let your team fail. You have no idea what the financial advisor has been telling you for the past 3 years, but eventually you'll read that book that he gave you that explains it all. Allegedly. So what? So what if you don't feel or fit those societal norms? So what? So what? So what if you go to bed and the dishes are still in the sink? So what? So what if you haven't cleaned your house and you have your kids clean the house for chore money? So what? I would invite you all to my house right now, even though it's not cleaned. Wait a minute, I'm lying. She's there clean. Never mind. Okay, never mind. It wouldn't have been clean yesterday, and I would have invited you guys all over. Why? Because my worth is not a representation of the tasks I complete. Everybody say that. My worth is not attached to the tasks that I complete. Why are you guys not saying this? My worth is not attached to the tasks I complete. So what? So what if you take your kids to school late? Not all the time, okay? Calm down. Calm down. But so what if you take your kids to school late and they're eating breakfast in the car? Right? Am I the only one? Am I the only one? Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Thank you. Embracing authenticity is so important. So important. Why? Because there is no way, absolutely no way I would have a successful practice today if I did not embrace authenticity. I get most therapists aren't like me. And imagine if the people you connected with were. You didn't have to act like you had it all together. You didn't have to act like your house was always clean, knowing damn well you all yelled at your kids before they got there. I'm on to you. I'm on to you. I was once you. So what? So what? Embracing vulnerability is key, not only to connection in your business, but I'm going to tell you right now, there is no way I'd be married as long as I've been married had I not fully accepted who I was and who I wasn't. In addition to that, I also had to accept who he was and who he wasn't. Shifting from competition to celebration requires a reframe in success. It requires this practice of gratitude, cultivating empathy, and in addition to that, embracing vulnerability. Out of all of these, which one would you say is the hardest? I'm sorry? Vulnerability. What else? For me, it was reframing success. So, you're all at a table right now. I'm going to give you 1 minute to share your small wins. And it can't be your kids or the fact that you're married. Don't get me wrong, absolutely love and adore them. Took them out of school so they could be here. It can't be your kids. It can't be your husband. You know I love you. I want you to think about your small wins. I'm wondering if my friend thought about her small wins. And I could almost guarantee that the answer would be no. We're constantly looking ahead. So what if I have $1 million business? So what? It's not 5 million. So what if I own a group practice? I don't own several of them. So what that I'm up here on stage, and yet last year I was in the audience and I said, I'm gonna be up there next year, and I'm here. So what? We're constantly looking at what's next, very rarely paying attention to what we have accomplished thus far. So right now, on your table, 1 minute, I want you to start, all of you, because I will go down there and we will start talking. I got time. So I want you to go ahead and share your wins. Go ahead, look at each other. Small wins. Three, 2, 1. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. You guys are getting a little carried away. Come back to me. Beautiful, beautiful. I love hearing the claps. I love hearing that acknowledgement. I even love hearing that celebration. I absolutely love it. We are here to support and empower one another. No more competition. Why? Because life is going to pass us by. And there is only so much Botox and fillers can do to pause it. All right, everybody come back to me. Come back to me. So here's what we're going to do to build supportive networks. You've already heard Cindy and Stacy. They gave you guys invaluable information. And now we're going to create a team, a support group. This is what it's going to look like. I do not want any of you to leave here without 2 people that you are going to start a mastermind group with. What is a mastermind group? It is a group where you guys share your struggles, personal and professionally. It is a group where you could literally open up your financials and ask for support and help. Is it embarrassing? You bet. I've done it a couple times, and when they're asking me, what is gross, net, what is revenue, and I'm looking at the room, and everybody's like, boom, 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 with all of their numbers, and then it comes to me, and I'm like, I don't even know how to read my profit and loss statement. I know there's money in there. But I don't know. So can somebody help me? And they did. I don't have a template for this. Do you have one? And they shared it. No more competition. And some of my colleagues that are in my mastermind group, would you consider them competition? Maybe you guys would. I wouldn't. They're my best friends. They're my best friends because they want to see me grow. This is the only picture I have because I had learned from my past that I needed to take the picture. I was cleaning up my second office. It was a 2-office suite. And I asked the leasing agent, can you please just take a picture of me? And she's like, do you still need to clean the office? I was like, no, does it look like I do? I just cleaned it. Did I not do it right? Am I going to get my deposit back? So there's something that stands in the way. There was something that stood in my way. There's no way I'm capable. I want you to learn this. There is no way I'm capable. What is it costing me to believe that thought? It is what us clinicians call a distorted thought. There's no way I'm capable of doing this. That is a thought that I had playing out in my head over and over and over when I first opened my practice. And I walked in to my director's office several times at Loma Linda. I love you guys. But I walked into my office and I'm like, or my director's office, and I was like, girl, for real though, I've already resigned 3 times. Can you please let me go? And she's like, no. What do you need? Another intern? Do you need less hours? What do you need? I'll give it all to you. And it's like, I need to quit. But because I was so scared, I stayed for 5.5 years. Don't get me wrong, it was the best time of my life. Soul Train Fridays with all of our patients. Imagine all of the patients in our behavioral medicine hospital or our center, all of the patients forming lines, and there's their therapist soul training it. And guess what I'm asking the others to do? Soul train. Everybody's going down the soul train line. But I just thought, there's no way. I have to stay at the BMC. I have to stay there because there's no way my practice is going to truly grow. So I have to stay there. What was that costing me? What was that costing me? Physical, emotional, mental pain. Now what was it benefiting me? Veronica, it's not benefiting you. Why didn't you just leave? It was benefiting me. Because as long as I stayed, I didn't have to step outside of my comfort zone. I got to stay with what was familiar. I didn't have to challenge myself. And guess what? The hospital didn't want to let me go. We had Soul Train Fridays. So I want you guys to think about a thought that comes up for you guys often. There's no way I'm capable of doing this. I did this podcast series on high achieving women. And what every single one of them said is, my husband and my family don't understand me, and they'll never understand me. That is a distorted thought. I want you guys to think about, what is it costing them to believe that thought to be true and not do anything about it? And what is it benefiting them? Practical strategies for celebration. The biggest one is building trust, not in others. That's a part of it, but building trust in yourself. Damn right you are capable of stepping outside of your comfort zone. We do things scared all the time, sometimes kicking and screaming. Building up that trust, building up that muscle over and over and over again. Doing it scared, because guess what that builds? It builds confidence. Every single time you step outside of your comfort zone, it builds confidence, builds courage, and more importantly, it builds trust. What do you mean you want me to teach in 20 minutes on radical acceptance? Okay, fine, I guess. That's exactly what happened to me on my first day at the BMC. I only read it in books, but yeah, put up a screen and a slideshow, I'll make it happen. By the second, third time, I had it all memorized. Not the way it was done in the slideshow, but the way that I had practiced it and implemented it into my life. I'm never gonna teach you guys something that I haven't practiced myself. Accomplishments. We just identified what they are. I want you guys to keep that going. Small, baby steps. You went to the gym and worked out for 15 minutes. Hell yeah. The goal was 5 days out of the week, an hour each day. I'm gonna take those 15 minutes. You did it. Celebrate it. Why? Because you will be there the next week. And then that next week, it'll go from 1 day to 2 days. And then from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Little by little, celebrate your wins. Community. We have PWR in the house. Where are you at? BNI members. Who's a BNI member? That's right. Temecula Chamber. There are several supportive communities, and it is so important that you connect with them. The next one, gratitude. For a very long time, and I'm still in the works of it, literally still learning, but for a very long time, I took what I had for granted. $1 million practice. I'm amazing. What's next? Okay, yes, I'm married to my best friend. That's awesome. Okay, but I don't have time to look at that. What's next? I need to build a practice. I need to grow my team. I need to speak. I need my podcast. I think I had 100,000 downloads. I don't even know 100 people, but 100,000 downloads. Why wasn't it 500,000? Never celebrating my wins or being grateful for it. Most of the time, we're not grateful until it's gone. Last skill, emotion regulation. A good amount of us allow our thoughts to control us. What you guys don't know is our thoughts interact with our emotions and our body's response. Physiological response. I'm going to give you a quick story. My husband and I and our kids, we go to Lake Mead every year. We hadn't gone for a while. Why? Because on the news, it showed that they were discovering some things inside of containers that were once alive, and then now they weren't alive, if you get my drift. And my kids were freaked out because they're like, oh my God, we're swimming with all of them. And it's like, yeah, it was happening for a while. And not only that, but the water level was low. And that's how they discovered all of those people. Water levels were really low. And so my husband's on the boat, the kids are on the boat, and he's gunning it. I am scared out of my mind. Why? Because usually they have like a buoy or some indicator that there's a rock. Well, the water levels are low, which means there's more rocks. And I doubt that the people that work at the lake, I don't know what their names are, but I doubt that they've scanned and gone through the entire river and put buoys on all of the rocks. Does my husband care? Nope. Gunning it. We're on our way to the wishing well. It's beautiful. You have to be, I'm going to give you a big head. You have to be like an expert boatsman, captain, right? Because once you're in there, it's really, really narrow, and it's a cave. Once you're in there, in your boat, you have to turn it all the way around. So here's my husband wanting to show off for the 80,000th time. We get it. You know how to drive it. So he's gunning it. I'm freaked out. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. What am I thinking? He's going to kill us. And then we're all going to fly out of the boat. My oldest one refuses to wear a life vest. I obviously am not wearing a life vest, Mother of the Year. My husband's not wearing a life vest. My two little ones are. We do abide by the law. He's gunning it. Slow down. And the kids, Mom. Of course, I'm the bad guy. Dad's the fun dad. I'm the bad guy because I want to keep my kids alive. And he's gunning it, and I'm like, babe, I think you should turn around. He gives me the look. I have too many witnesses, so I can't take care of it myself, like my dad taught me to. So I let it slide. What am I feeling emotionally? Frustration, fear. I'm feeling completely dismissed. And then on top of that, I suck as a mom because I'm not allowing the kids to have fun, even though this is probably the last memory I'm ever going to have of them because my husband's going like 80 miles per hour. What's happening in my body? What's happening in your body right now as I'm sharing this story? Rapid heart rate, tight and tense. Willie already knows the minute I do this, I got it from my mom. The minute I do this, you don't even tell me. I don't even care. He already knows to walk the other direction because it's about to go down. And it's not going to be in his favor. Paying attention to your physiological response is so important. Paying attention and identifying to those emotions, physiological response, as well as those thoughts. Why? Because all three of them interact with one another. And if you're not careful, what's going to happen is you're going to start to act on impulses and urges. And how many of you have healthy stories acting on impulses and urges? None of you. And again, I wasn't trying to catch a case because after all, I am a therapist and I teach this, so I should know better. Emotion regulation is so important. If you learn nothing except for this skill, you will be solid. And it is something you are going to want to teach your kids. Why? Because you have the ability to challenge your emotions. This right here is going to be your best friend for good reason. You will not believe how many people come into my office and when I ask them what they're feeling, they have no idea. This isn't, what do those therapists on the movies say? How does that make you feel? Oh my God. If your therapist says that, run. I want you to be able to identify what you're experiencing, what emotions come up for you, and how your body responds to those emotions. Why? Because your body is telling you something. And usually what happens is your thoughts, your emotions, and your physiological response becomes so overwhelming that you just want to run or blame, and you stay stuck there. Why? Because it's comfortable. It's easy for us to blame. It's easy for us to point the finger. But the minute you're challenged and you're asked to identify every single one of those three, it provides you with this ability to respond instead of react. Respond, you can problem solve. React, that prefrontal cortex, that ability to think rationally goes out the window. You're in fight or flight mode, and that is not a safe space to be in at all. So what are we going to do? We are going to unite, lift each other up, and stand together. How do I know that? Because we're actually going to do that right now. Everybody stand up. So I was looking for a picture of me when I was 10 years old. And I was like, Mom, how old was I? She was, you were 9. I was like, Mom, just tell me I was 10. I need a picture when I was 10. Okay, mija, you're 10. I told you, my mom did everything she could to mask what was really happening in my household. So I was Miss Stars of Tomorrow, huh, Ma? Miss Stars of Tomorrow, what's up? You didn't even know you were with a celebrity, Miss Stars of Tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so you were with your 10-year-old self earlier. I want you guys to close your eyes. And yes, I will still call you out if your eyes are not closed. Why? Because I told you, I really want you to learn. And I really want to help you create change. What is your promise to your 10-year-old self? What is your promise to your 10-year-old self? You no longer have to drive this crazy wheel. I promise you that I'm going to learn skills and I'm going to provide you with the protection you need. You no longer have to be afraid because I'm going to connect you with resources. I'm going to connect you with people that are going to help us. I promise you, I will take it from here. I love you. Open your eyes when you're ready. I am so proud of you guys. I am so, so proud. I know this was not easy. And I know some of you are like, really, Veronica, why'd you make me cry? Well, because you had to learn. You're welcome. Thank you all so very much. So, so very much. If you want to work with me, there's a barcode. But again, I don't want you guys to leave here without implementing the skills that we've all taught you. You guys have so many skills. Use them. Again, my name is Veronica Cisneros. Thank you.
Veronica, imposter syndrome is real. Mm-hmm. So how do you combat that?
Imposter syndrome is 1,000% real for all of us, including me. I was sharing with some of my friends that are here. I'm like, am I really qualified to do this? So what if I've been licensed for like 10 years? So what if I practice every single day and I teach these skills every single hour? There is still that imposter syndrome. And that imposter syndrome exists because we are so passionate about what we're about to do. And that fear is telling us that we can't do it, that we're incapable of doing it. And this is why being able to identify what that thought is that's constantly coming up for you, that creates this self-sabotaging environment. Identifying the emotions wrapped around it, physical sensation, so that you cue yourself back, reset, and that imposter syndrome, although it still might be there, it doesn't completely take over.
Veronica, let's dig a little deep and let's talk about how you recommend dealing with emotions in the heat of the moment that have us all kind of wrapped up in that moment, and how do we deal with that?
So the clinical term for that is flooding. Again, going back to emotions are taking over, right? I'm going to tell you right now, if you see me yelling at my kids in Costco, I am obviously flooded. Turn around and pray for me. But emotions are really, really big, and they're telling us something. And when we're flooded, again, that ability to think rationally, it goes out the window. You cannot do it. It is impossible. Your brain will not allow you to. So if you find yourself wanting to have a conversation and keep your husband up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go ahead and resolve that argument, I'm going to tell you right now, research studies show that you have a 97% chance that that conversation is going to fail. It is going to fail. I had a firefighter tell me, so you mean to tell me there's a 3% chance I might get in? No. So if we already know that there's a 97% chance that whatever is about to come out of my mouth is going to, one, fall on deaf ears, or it's going to create an all-out war, then it is important that you give yourself 20 minutes. This is from Gottman. I wish I can say I own this and I did all the research. Research study shows that it takes your body 20 minutes from being dysregulated to returning back to baseline. So whatever you're about to say, girl, write it down. Write it down, shout it in the car, start the timer, and give yourself 20 minutes. Not 19, not 18 minutes and 30 seconds, 20 minutes. Go back, and the minute you see your partner or someone else or a colleague, and you feel yourself becoming dysregulated again, guess what? You need another 20 minutes. And you're gonna need to keep doing that until you're able to apply the skills that I taught you, self-regulate, bring yourself back, and have that conversation.
Absolutely, yes. We all need time to process.
We all need that
process.
time.
Absolutely.
Or book a session with me, I got you.
Okay, Veronica, what is the line between empowerment and looking at what's next and achieving dreams when maybe you need a break?
Beautiful question. Beautiful question. I know a good amount of us push ourselves too far. I want you to do an experiment that I've done on myself. And I'm ashamed to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you because, again, we're besties. I want you to write down everything that you need to do in one day. Write it down. Just literally start writing it down. I'm going to tell you, I did this exercise, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm killing it. It's not even 12, and I'm going to get all of these things done. I looked again on my schedule, and I was like, wait a minute. That's not 12 p.m. That's 12 a.m. I had literally booked every single minute of my day. No time to pee, no time to eat, no breaks. I could totally make this happen if my husband takes the kids and just lets me do my magic. I actually recorded a podcast with him, and I'm like, why don't you just let me do my magic? And he's like, because it's not magic. It's burnout. But I literally want you to see it. I want you to write down everything that is expected of you. And you will see, once you look at it, that it is not humanly possible. And I know for me, I take that as criticism because I'm not like your average human. I can make it happen. I can make a 40-hour work week in 24 hours. Watch me. Watch me. But guess what I'm left with? Disconnection in my marriage. Lack of intention. I am missing things. I am missing things. So what? I miss bedtime stories. Not a big deal. I'm still at the office. I already missed it. Why not work a little longer? Okay, so what? Me and my husband didn't get busy tonight because I was too tired. It'll happen next week. I'll make it up to him. I'm missing it. I am guilty of saying that I wish I could put pause on my family so I could get all of these things done. If those are your thoughts, what are you running away from? Because I'm going to tell you right now, it is not towards success. You are running away from something. And what I realized was I did not think that I was worthy. I did not think I was worthy until I was past a certain number. I did not think I was worthy until every single office in my office building, my office space was busy. I, again, attached a task to my worth. you are missing it. That is not success.
Wow.
So that's what I would do.
Great. Thank you.